Rocky were all here today. So Jim, Ratcliffe, it looked like they were all here. Will you speak to them while you're at Villa Park?
We always speak. We every week speak. So we are all on board together on one page. We know where we are working to. It's a long-term project, and we have to keep improving the process.
Yeah. Lastly, I heard an interview you did in the week where you said, "Keep the faith. If you don't have faith, you don't have anything." Is that the message now? Keep the faith.
No, we proved 2 very tough away games, and this is a team, and you show the togetherness, the spirit, but also the belief and the faith they have.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Well, Johnny, maybe not perfect, but better today from Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it wasn't perfect. We didn't probably pass the ball as well, but we would have liked to. But we got a point against a good side, away from home. And the other night conceding 3 goals, we wanted to be a bit more, maybe defensive minded and make sure that we didn't concede to give ourselves a chance. And we're looking for maybe that one sort of moment of quality or counter attack. We nearly got at the end, but fair play to Villa. I thought they were a good team and they played well today. Yeah,
like you say, they are a good team, but defensively, did you feel pretty comfortable? There was a real late scare, wasn't there? But generally, pretty comfortable.
I think they've got good players, so you're never comfortable. And Ollie Watkins and playing on the shoulder, and he's aggressive. Very good player. So you've always got to be on your toes and ready. And we had to make it tight today and not try and give them too much space. And I think we did that well.
And do you have to? I'll just have to word this right, but as the years tick by for you personally, do you have to adjust how you deal with players like Ollie Watkins when they're on the shoulder?
I don't think so. I still feel like I'll play the game I always have, and I just try and play my game, and I still feel like I've got a bit of speed in the legs to get me out of those moments. So while I've still got that and feel like I've got that, I'll just play the same way.
Look, I know you love putting your body on the line for this football club. What has this week been like, sort of pressed into service on Thursday night and then starting the game again today? I wonder when the manager told you.
I know he told me after the game the other night, but I think even the match against Porto, I wasn't expecting to come on at all. Victor's coming back from injury, back on the bench, and it's unlikely that you're ever going to make double centre back substitutions, should I say? But to come on, I just enjoy every moment I'm out on the pitch now, and every game I go into, I just get you just have that buzz for it. You really appreciate it, enjoy it, and try and make the most of it.
And I'm sure you'd be the first to say, Manchester United, when things are going well, best club in the world to play for. But when it's like how it's been,
it still is.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege to play for this club, and I've had a long affiliation with it. So for me, there's no other answer to that. And I think with the pressures that come with it, it's also, it's a part of it, and it's a privilege too. And you can see the fans, at the end there, the way they travel, and the support that they've given the team. I have to say, they have supported the players massively over the years, and it's great to see, and all the love that they give us. Yeah,
and talking of those pressures, credit to the manager today, the performance he got out of you, the way he set you up to get a result at a really tough place.
Yeah, and it was great for him to see that. He was, the other night, he got a bit, you could see it on him, the emotion of letting that game sort of slip away, and how big a game it was. So, to go out there and sort of, put in a performance for him, you could see that everyone was, running themselves into the ground, and he was able to make the substitution to bring lads on to freshen it up, and I'm pleased for him that he got a half-decent result today.
So one last thing to do. You were saying off camera, this is the first one you've ever won, you think?
I think it might be the second, and Bruno donated one to me last season, so 3.
Well done. Johnny Evans, player of the match.
Thank you very much.
Well played.
Cheers.
Well done, Johnny. You just get the feeling he relishes every single second of it while it continues. Bruno almost stole the Player of the Match award from him today if that free kick had just dropped a couple of inches lower.
I'm trying to find the right words here. Because everybody on the pitch today should be ashamed, because Johnny Evans, credit to him, he's 36, 37, and he's man of the match. So everybody younger than him should take notice and just, next time be better. Other than that, the best highlights of the game is the 93rd minutes here, this chance, probably.
Yeah, that's the closest, Steve, that either side really came to scoring, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, look, it was, as we said there, from a Villa point of view, the hangover from the other night, they look quite tired. But from a Manchester United point of view, positive steps defensively, and then this was the last chance, well, the last break for United, Les.
And this probably sums up the game. You know, Garnacho's gone through and you're thinking, just square it. Fernandes gets on the end of this and, you know, he hits the first man, and that probably summed up the way the game went today. Well, you know, both teams were lacking in that final third. You know, huffed and puffed, but couldn't blow the house down.
Does this take away some of the criticism from the manager? A lot of pressure on him going into this game today, Dimitar.
I think the criticism will continue to grow because United need to win to get the points. They are 14 in the table, which is unbelievable. I mean, the only thing to correct it is getting the points. But with the way they're playing at the moment, that's going to be hard to do.
He said at the start of the season, it's going to be a slow start for Manchester United. I don't believe he thought it was going to be as slow as this. After every interview, he keeps saying, Man United, we need to improve, we need to improve, we need to improve. And we keep sitting there and seeing Manchester United not improving. You're starting to think, when's it going to happen?
That's improvement, isn't it? And Aston Villa?
Not enough. Not enough for Man United.
They are 14th, as Dimitar says. We will talk more about Manchester United later on. I know you've got a lot more to say about United, perhaps not about today's game.
I have problems scoring goals, but only Liverpool have kept more clean sheets this season than Manchester United. And, you know, you've played with him second time round. You know what he's like. Is it important to have the way he speaks there and knowing the club, long affiliation with it, to have a little bit of that? They've lost McTominay, still in and around that dressing room.
Yeah, I think it is. And we're just saying now that Johnny knows the way of Manchester United, 36 years of age, I think he is. And you've got to give him every credit. He was good today. There's just something that feels a little bit wrong about it to me, to have a player who's come back after so long. He just came to train with the team here to keep fit, and another year later is Manchester United's best centre-half. That tells you that something isn't quite right. And look, Man United are 14th in the Premier League, so that also tells you something is not quite right. But I do agree with that. I think they were a lot better organised today. They look more difficult to play against, more difficult to break through, which usually happens. It's normally quite wide open. But Mainu and I thought Eriksen next to him as well gave them a really solid platform. But I also think they were helped by Villa's game on Wednesday. I think it was a little bit of a flat game from Aston Villa. And as I said before, I think United just tried to survive in the game. He also said there as well, we were organised, compact, and just hoping we could get a goal on the counter-attack, which you Manchester United, you think you'd have a little bit more than that, a little bit more.
You don't like to hear that, do you, from a United player?
No, a bit of hope, yeah, but that's where we're at with Man United at the minute. That's why they're 14th in the Premier League, because they're not good enough to put the full package together. Let's say they can do one thing and maybe be gung-ho and create chances, not always take the chances, or they can sit back like they have done today and just try and survive in the game and try and hope that something will happen on the counter-attack, or they get a free kick with Bruno hitting the bar.
From a managerial point of view, in United's current state today, has Johnny Evans helped with that experience, that know-how of the club?
Yeah, from Ten Hag's point of view, he certainly has, but like, it's game to day, game to game, which it shouldn't be. You know, we saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe up there, Jason Wilcott's up there. You know, Dan Ashworth's got to make a decision. You're going to live game to game as a Man United manager. Shouldn't be the case. Should be a plan going forward. You're going regressing.
Eric Ten Hag keeps telling us there is, and it's calm behind the scenes, and everyone's
stick
on
to the plan,
page.
he says. But I would say to him, what is the plan? And I'm sure the managers don't know the plan. If we know the plan, we can stick to it. But give us a clue what the plan is. You've been there two years. You know, you've not been there 5 minutes. You keep saying, judge me at the end of the season. I wish we all could say that as manager. Judge me at the end of the season. Maybe I wouldn't be sitting here. You know,
we'd miss you.
Unfortunately, you don't get that time, and certainly not as a Man United manager. Reality is, as a football manager, you win football matches or you get yourself sacked, and you take the brunt of the criticism. That's part and parcel of the job. We can all moan about it, and we can all have self-preservation interviews and try and protect ourselves and blame injuries. And he signed 16 players, Steve. He spent gazillions of pounds. 7 of the 9 substitutes are his signings today. You know, big money signings. Some of them never got a kick at a football. 5 of the starting 11 are his signings. That is his squad. Show us something different. And rely on me going back to Johnny Evans, a 40-year-old centre-half.
36, just to quantify.
He looks 40 today. After the game, he looks 40. Is that all he is?
36.
No, he's a young man. I mean, I think it's disrespectful we keep talking about his age. I mean, he done well there today. I mean, he marshalled there. I mean, I think Watkins would have got more of a kick at the ball if De Ligt was playing against him today. You know, and what I've seen from De Ligt, all right, he's got to settle into the Premier League. But stop all the excuses. He's got to settle. He's got the injuries. It's not my squad. Yes, it is your squad. You haven't got the injuries as much now. Everyone picks up injuries. We see with Aston Villa. Start performing. Start showing us a plan. Keeps talking about the plan. Show us the plan. And then we know if it's progression. We don't see any progression. Sometimes, like, let's use Jurgen Klopp. I know it's a rival of Manchester United. When he first came, it didn't happen for him straight away at Liverpool, but we could see there was a playing style of what he wanted to do, and the implementation was easy, and the signings were being brought in as Jurgen Klopp players. We could see it. It was clear. It's like, say it again, it's very difficult to scout for Manchester United because you don't know how the manager wants to play. Almost an impossible job to recruit, as it's being shown. You talked about not scoring goals. Yeah, they haven't won a game in 5 there. That's not Manchester United. They're 14th in the league. Yeah, you can stop. It's a team stopping getting relegation to keep clean sheets. That's what they do, getting numbers behind the ball and work hard and try and keep a clean sheet. And Arno relying on him. You don't score goals because you're not creating enough. And also, you haven't got enough centre-forwards. They've got one centre-forward at the football club. Xerxes is not a centre-forward. I don't know what he is at the moment. Højlund's a centre-forward. He's had injuries. He's coming back in. But he's not the answer. If you cannot produce a Højlund in your academy, then you need to close your academy, in my opinion. He's not top draw. He's not Manchester United. Where are the days when they're still spending the money, by the way? Where are the days when Manchester United Football Club went to Tottenham and say, we're taking your best player, Harry Kane. We're going to know where. They did it time and time again. They took Michael Carrick, they took Berbatov, took Teddy Sheringham. You know, not only Tottenham, but all the top clubs. They're not at that level.
Got over it, Tim, anyway. So
they're not. They're not there at the moment, Steve. It's just. Living, we go back to it. The reason was living game to game. You can't live game to game as a Man United football club. Them owners need to look at that, and they need to make a decision.
That's what they're at for, isn't it? They are at a week-to-week, game-to-game situation at the moment.
Yes, because they're not performing. I think Tim's right. I think in forward areas especially, I just don't think the quality's there. We go back to the most successful teams, they're capable of scoring goals. What we scored 5 goals now, maybe?
Only Southampton, fewer.
5 goals in 7 games, whatever it may be. Now, we had 3 or 4 forwards who could get you 20 goals. So you're looking at 80 goals a season there. I just don't see that in the forward line of Manchester. Look, Højlund does all right, but is he going to score you 20 goals? I don't think so. Xerxes, as Tim said, what is he? Is he a number 9? Is he a number 10? Is he going to get you 20 goals? I don't think so. I think they're relying more on hope than actual proven quality. And as Tim said, they spent so much money as well. It's a ridiculous amount of money, and some of them can't get in the team. You think of Ugarte coming into the club, he was supposed to change the way the midfield was. He didn't play him. De Ligt, 50 million. Was it 50 million? Didn't play him. Johnny Evans is coming as a 36-year-old instead of him. Martinez, he brought him into the club. What's he thinking today? Johnny Evans is playing. Maguire started.
Even Lindelof came on.
Well, that's what I said. Maguire started. Lindelof comes on before him. It's just a mess of a recruitment mess, really. But as Tim said, when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how to play, or the way you want to play, it's very difficult to choose players. Like Liverpool's was quite simple to buy for, because you know what they're going to do. The 4-3-3. You can recruit for that, but when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how you're going to play. It changes from week to week. You just almost throw in balls in the air and say, yeah, he looks a good player, we'll try and get him. But
he knows a lot of them.
Yeah. He's had a lot of Ajax, but the quality's different. This isn't
the
Holland.
game's different.
He's got the best in Holland, of course, but in the Premier League, the best in Holland isn't good enough for England.
£540 million he spent as Manchester United manager. 0-0 then. United have drawn at Villa Park. Next up, welcome back. So no goals at half-time at Villa Park between Aston Villa and Manchester United. Have you seen some small signs of encouragement from United in that first half?
Yeah, I think United have been a little bit more solid. I think there's been a couple of half chances. I suppose Morgan Rogers had a good chance. There's been a couple of breaks through in the middle, but on the whole, I think they've done okay. I don't think there's been an awful lot in the game. Eriksen, I think, has played the position better. I think he's stayed in there with Manu a lot more than he has done of late, and United have also had a couple of half chances as well. I don't think there's been a lot of quality in the game really at both ends of the pitch or in the middle of the pitch. So look, they'll be happy winning at half time, but we'll be interested to see what happens second half.
Marcus Rashford's on a little bit of a better run in front of goal. He probably had that early opening for United, who are still the second lowest goal scorers in the Premier League as we stand.
Yeah, I mean, he gets away, and this is what you want him to do. You want him to drive at the box, you want him to commit people, and when he gets on that right foot, you know he's going to be quality. He's been quite pragmatic in his play for me. He's done a job for the team. He's sat in there. He sometimes gets criticised of not wanting to do the hard work, but I think this first half, Marcus Rashford has actually done a job for the team. But these are the areas ultimately you want to get him on, and asking questions of Martinez there.
A little more encouraging from Marcus?
Yeah, I agree. Well, he has been like that the last few weeks when he's been playing. He's got his 2 or 3 goals, which we thought would give him a little bit of confidence, and that's the area where he does like to play on that left-hand side, cuts inside, and you almost think it's a really good chance for Marcus, a little bit more than a half chance, but he hits it straight at the keeper.
What about Villa and at the other end?
I think they'd be disappointed the way they played. I thought it's been a bit dead, after the Bayern Munich game. They've got a couple of half sniffs, in there. They're better when they're more precise with their build-up. They're getting this kid Morgan Rogers on the ball on the half turn there. You see him pick up that ball and he finds a pass to Ollie Watkins and he gives it him back. I think he should do better. A kid of his quality and the way he's playing at the moment. Johnny Evans was petrified as soon as he picks that ball up and 1v1s him in the box. But I've been disappointed with them. I really have. I think that they need the crowd. The crowd were massive for them the other night. I think they need to get behind him in the second half. I think they've got opportunities to change it off the bench. Big John Duran is on the bench who could come on. But I agree with Paul. I think there is small steps there from Man United. I think they've been pretty well organised and they've dealt with any threat what Aston Villa have had.
Is it Manchester United or is it a lack of fluidity from Villa?
Yeah, a little bit of both. But I think it's really harsh not to give, when there's an opportunity to give Man United some credit. I think we have to try and give it to them, and I think let's give them the credit and the benefit of the doubt because it's been a little bit disjointed on both sides. A few players going off injured as well from both sides, so see who copes better, and probably going to be one off the bench, from whoever can make the right changes at the right time. Now, it's just keep our fingers crossed for Man United's sake that he doesn't decide to bring off Marcus Rashford at half-time. Yeah,
which he did on Thursday night. Just they need a little bit more of a cutting edge, United.
Yeah, they do, but look, it's away from home against a team are going really well, so I think 0-0 did have took that at the start of the game, I would have thought. Look, they've had a couple of half chances, as we said, but yeah, you need a bit more quality if you're going to win a game of this stature. In the final third, they're going to need a little bit more. I think Ireland's been a little bit quiet, some decent runs, but again, not been found. Bruno Fernandes, your best player on the pitch, really hasn't really performed yet, hasn't really got into the game. So, look, a bit more involvement from them. I think they'll create some chances.
Yeah, I think from Manchester United, just a little bit more clinical when they get up there. Probably attack with a little bit more belief. They're just probably haven't got that balance quite right. They are worried a couple of times when Rodgers has just got on that half turn and got away from them. All of a sudden, they're on the back foot, and that is the last thing Manchester United need to do, is give space either in between the lines or behind the back line. So it's just getting that balance right when they do go forward.
And De Ligt on for Maguire, will that unsettle things, do you think? Not sure they've even played together, De Ligt and Evans, actually. I don't think they have.
No. I think it's pretty similar. I mean, the two players who, like Maguire and De Ligt, are very similar. He's not any quicker than Harry Maguire. They still keep the same height of the line. So, no, I don't think it's too much.
Goalless so far at Villa Park. Is this an improvement from Manchester United, what you've seen so far?
No, I think it's a quiet game and an even game. Not too much going on, in my opinion, of course, and hopefully the second half is going to be better. But I think because Aston Villa have played, now they're a bit more cautious in the first half, and in both teams are like in a quiet mode, if I can say it like this, and hopefully for United side, second half they can use better attacking options, especially Højlund, because he's a bit isolated up front.
We haven't, Les, been spoilt for entertainment so far, I think it's fair to say. United themselves have had 2 of these 6 shots we've seen in the game so far. This wasn't bad, though, from Rashford.
No, it wasn't. Good intent, picks it up, runs, gets down the line, cuts inside. You knew what he was going to do here, but You know, Martinez is one of the best in the world at the moment, and you got to do. He's got to go far post there as he cuts inside and it goes near, and quite a comfortable save for him. But as you said, it's not smart. You know, it's on Wednesday night. I watched them against Bayern Munich. I wanted to be in the stadium. Now I'm glad I'm sitting in the studio. It's a little bit warmer. You know?
It has been compact from Manchester United. They haven't made it easy for Aston Villa, but is this almost what you expected a little bit after the Lord Mayor show?
Yeah, it's a bit of a hangover, isn't it? I think from a Villa point of view, great link-up play here from Watkins and Rodgers. You can see he just tries to shift on his right foot. Great strike on it. He shifts it. I think he wants to shoot there. It's just a bit too far away from him, because Johnny Evans is that close. He has to try and whip it around him, and then obviously Philogene here. And this is what Man United have done. I think structurally Man United have been absolutely superb. Relying on Aston Villa to shoot from distance. Again, fantastic strike, wasn't on distance. But in terms of improvements from a Man U point of view, structurally, defensively, I think it's a massive improvement from a few weeks ago.
But there is a problem. It looked like at the end of the half that Harry Maguire, from this evidence, will not be coming back out. Dimitar, how much of a blow would this be, given how well they've been playing defensively?
Well, we'll see in the second half, but like we are just talking, who is going to come on now? Is it going to be Martinez or De Ligt? You told me about De Ligt warming up.
Like it was De Ligt, yeah.
Looks like De Ligt.
Yeah, which is something that I'm curious, because now Ten Hag needs to choose between two defenders, so he's preferring De Ligt to come in. So more trust is put on him to get into the second half, not Martinez. And I hope it's going to be a good performance for him.